Good evening. Welcome to another session of the Gooner Booth. It's a big game, the preview of Newcastle versus Arsenal. It's here. Let's get into it. Before we get going, please can you like and subscribe? Thank you for all your support so far. Let's keep going. But yeah, if you're watching live, good evening, and sit back, relax, and enjoy a lovely conversation. Feel free to comment. Cool. Let's get into it, Wayne. Good evening.
Hello, Tone. Good evening. Yeah, just like to reiterate, we appreciate your likes, your shares, your subscribes. Helps the channel grow. We're just a couple of humble gooners doing this channel, so thank you guys. Yeah, we'll try to keep the content coming. But yeah, good evening first and foremost, Tone. How you feeling about this game tomorrow, then, mate?
Do you know what? The fact that Liverpool have dropped points today, I think there's going to be a little bit more anxiousness from the supporters now. We have to win this game now. We have to go to St James's Park and get a result, and it's something that we haven't done in a long time. And it's it's not going to be an easy game. The one saving grace would probably be that they haven't got Isaac anymore, so they're going to be setting up as a completely different team. But it doesn't make the game any easier. It's still going to be a tough one. So yeah, my feelings are I'm feeling confident. I mean, we'll get into some news, but I'm feeling quite confident for this one. And off air, we normally show each other our starting 11s, but I haven't done that on purpose this evening so that we can, so I can upset you on air. Be perfect.
Good. That's what it's all about.
Cool. So what's your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I hate going to this place, Tone, to be fair, mate. We went there twice last year, lost both occasions. Yeah, it's what annoys you as well is that obviously Liverpool have gone there this season. They've won. I mean, it was another. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, a last kind of gasped win again, which has been their normal. Bar today, obviously, the reverse happened to them, which was quite funny, really, and quite enjoyable, to be fair, Tone. I'm not confident. But why I say that is because of the past form. We are more than capable with the players that we have to do the business, mate. But it's 50-50 for me. But I hate the place. So part of me thinks we need. Well, to be fair, because they've lost, we do need to win. For me, I think I'm happy to avoid defeat at the moment. If a win comes, brilliant. But you remember when we had that controversial goal where the ball crossed the line, and everyone was there was debate after debate. I mean, if that was Liverpool, they would have said the ball was over the line. We had them there. There's a foul, wasn't it, on our player, on Gabriel. I don't want that to happen. Is what the point I'm making, Tone. Let's play our game. Let's not give any controversial decision a chance to re-emerge. In a game like this, we don't go to St James's Park and look like a team full of confidence. Obviously we'll get to our starting 11 and why I think that will be the one. I know obviously we're going to have our debate, and it's a healthy, fresh debate. And I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, honestly, Tone, and that sounds like a cliche answer, mate, but I can only give you that I'm 50-50 because we need to win. And it's just you go into the worst place to try to get a win, if you know what I mean. But like you've just said, they haven't got Isaac, but I believe they've got Gordon, like you've just told me, and give me the bad news.
Yeah.
He's back. Yeah. Walter Marde is a new signing. He's a tall lad, though. He puts himself about, and he will be a danger, especially with Gordon. I'm pretty sure Jacob Murphy, you said, is he's nursing injury, but maybe back. He, as much as he's not a sort of like a high level name, Tone. Is Alanga back as well? Anthony Alanga, he's still there.
I believe he's fit. Yeah, there's been no mention of him in terms of in team news. So I'm going to be assuming he's going to be.
I would assume it'll be Anthony Alanga and Gordon flanking Walter Marde up front, and that's St James's crowd on top of your, Tone. Yeah, it's a difficult one, mate.
Our defence is going to be up against it. The one thing I've read here as well, recent recruits Jacob Ramsey and Johan Wissa are out of action with an ankle injury and a knee injury. So I mean that's probably that them two are quite dangerous as well. problem. So we've got to go and do a job, right? We've got to go and do the business. The one thing I'd say for us, I think it looks like Ødegaard's back. He's been training. So the question is, does he go straight in? Does he go? I think he does. He's the captain. So if he's fit and ready to go, I think he goes straight in. I think the problem I'm worried about this game because I think Eddie Howe has got Arteta's number, and I think we beat him at the Emirates last season, but again,
I think it's at St James's Park. Sorry, Tony, to interject. He's got our number, isn't he, mate? He's got our number at St James's Park.
I just think that this is where I come down to the tactics.
Yeah.
Eddie Howe knows exactly what he's going to do. You know, I think most clubs know what we're going to do. That's half the problem now. You look at Port Vale in the week, right? Yeah, they're League One, but they still knew. We was just lucky that they weren't really interested. Let's be honest.
It's the quality. They didn't kind of have the quality, did they, Tony?
But I think that we've got to be so careful here because they've got pace, and Gordon always causes us problems. And I think it'd be very similar to the City game where we've got to be very careful to, not get hit on the counter attack when we're sort of, I think we've got to move. This game, we win this game if we score an early goal. If we don't, then it gets the nerves kick in, the anxiety kicks in, and I think that we're going to struggle. But again, another thing with us as well. Sorry, I paused for thought there. Another thing that I find with Arsenal as well that we do this every season. We've now got an opportunity to capitalise, right? With 5 points behind Liverpool, right? We've got an opportunity to close the gap, right? Take it. If you take it, how much of a mindset is that going to give the Arsenal players? And how much is that going to sort of make Liverpool think, oh, wow, it puts a bit of pressure on them because they went into that game today against Crystal Palace under no pressure at all. Obviously, they've lost it now, but if we go and win, it makes it a completely different story. You're right behind them again, and we've got. I'd say after this game, we've got a decent run of fixtures, very winnable fixtures, right? So, like I said, we've had a tough start, a really tough start, but I think that we need to go on a little run now, and I think if we go on a little run by Christmas time, we could be top, right? Because I don't think Liverpool are going to. They've been lucky, right? And I generally thought when Eddie Nketiah scored that goal, big up Arsenal boy.
Yeah.
We
always a gooner.
we thought the VAR would kick in and do Liverpool a favour. They didn't get that luck, and we always said, in our chat, these last minute goals that they were scoring, at some point their luck was going to run out, and it did today, right? But capitalise on it. Go at St James's Park tomorrow and go and win. Go and win. Don't go there. Move the ball slowly, and for fuck's sake, don't invert the left back. Do some proper overlapping fullbacks. Give them something to think about. Calafiori is actually not a bad attacking footballer, but I think get him down the wing with whoever's on that side. But yeah, there's a few battles in there, and it's going to be a tough one. So, looking at some stats, right? Here's a stat for you, a worrying stat. So Newcastle have won their last 7 out of 9 games at St James's Park against Arsenal. That is a really worrying stat, right? And we've got to make that right tomorrow. A draw's not good enough for me. And I'll on the reaction video, if we're sitting in, it's 1-1. I'm gonna have to raven up because it's a missed opportunity. It's a missed opportunity. So, look, I think both teams defensively have started really well as well. We've only conceded a goal in open play, which was that Haaland finish, and obviously the free kick against Liverpool. But in open play, we've only conceded 1 goal. So defensively, we're strong. It's our offensive play that needs to be on point. Newcastle the same. 4 out of 5 Premier League games have only they've kept 4 clean sheets.
Yeah.
So they're not going to be easy to break down. So this is where I want to see Arteta come up with something a little bit different. that doesn't mean plan Marino. By the way, that I don't. For some reason, he thinks that's a tactical change when Odegaard's that. No, I don't want to see that. He needs to change it up a little bit.
Agreed.
Yeah, even if that's, I wouldn't even argue the point of him sticking Rice in the defensive role and playing Eze and Odegaard as floating attacking midfielders. All right, yes, that opens it up a little bit, and people might disagree with me on that, but that we've got to start giving the opposition something to worry about. We've got so much talent in attack now, where we need to build when we was going in the City game, right? Do you think Guardiola would have been more scared seeing Eze in that number 10 role than Marino? Because I reckon he would have seen that lineup and gone, "Fucking hell, we could nick this."
Yeah,
he's not trusted. He's not trusted himself or backed himself at home, which he didn't. Right. Let's see. I think that it's going to be a tough game. I'm on the fence whether we win there. I want to say confidently we're going to go and win, but if we go out and play that slow, lethargic football, then I think it's going to be a long Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. No, I agree, mate. I mean, it's not a happy hunting ground, matey. You know, the key to it, and obviously we'll get to the 11, and I'll put. There's a reason why I've done that. You're there. Firstly, you've got to win the battle of the midfield. Now, Newcastle don't come to play expansive, expressive football. What they'll do is they'll have just two moments, and they'll get a goal from that moment. Their midfield is just pure brute force. Do you know what I mean? Like Joe Linton, Guimaraes, and Tonali. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I've not heard anything that they're injured, so I'm assuming that's their midfield three.
Well, Guimaraes, I'm probably butchering the shit out of his name, but Guimaraes,
we're gonna do it. We're gonna call him Bruno again.
Linton,
we're calling Bruno. But
let's call him Bruno.
We're calling Bruno, but that's a midfield tone that's going to be. They're going to be failing. They're going to be wanting to unsettle players. Obviously, I know what you're saying. There is going to be a slight thing. I don't think against St James's Park, you should go with just a single midfielder in terms of Declan Rice. But I think that you should allow to try to get a Supermendy on the ball as opposed to it being more so with Declan Rice. I think in terms of having the danger men coming in, you need Declan Rice breaking it up and being the enforcer in the midfield against this mob, because they're going to be bullying Supermendy in terms of that, and he's got the footballing's brain. He hasn't got the physical to deal with these people. They're going to be pulling him, probing him, kicking him, and they're more than likely get away with a hell of a lot of time because we do not get protection against this mob. We've got to out-football. We have to out-football them, as if pardon the term, but you know what I'm getting at. This is why you need to get, if Ødegaard's fit, we'll come to the 11, so I won't step all over it, but this is what I think you need to. I think if Eze, Ødegaard, and Saka are fit,
well, hold that thought. I'll put the 11 up. Your 11 up.
Yeah, go for it, my friend. I'm going to just adjust my screen so I can see.
That.
Yeah.
So this is your 11, right? You've gone with. I think most people would probably predict this is going to be his lineup if Ødegaard's fit. If you've got, I'm interested to see what he does with Ødegaard, because if he might not trust that he's fully fit to start the game, so there could be a possibility of him Ødegaard starting on the bench and Eze going at number 10.
Yeah.
Or he could wind us up again and put Marino in there.
And
everyone has a meltdown again, including me. So I think I think he knows that doesn't work surely by now, unless he's that stubborn.
Well, you'd hope so, Tone. I mean, the thing is, I've gone for this because I said it in the previous stream, and I will stand by it, and I will stand by this geezer, but I'll stand by Ødegaard till I'm blue in the face, in the fact that I still believe the way he plays football is fundamental to this Arsenal team.
Yeah.
And the way we want to play, Tone. And I know his form has been so sort of, up and down. but I really think that he's the main reason. I mean, you don't make him captain if you're not expecting him to be that main man. You know, we had that discussion one of our earlier streams about Tony Adams' faults and whatever, and we're not going to get into that. But what I think about Ødegaard is that I think he's vitally important. The problem I have is this shoulder injury going down twice, Tone, is a worry for me. You know, is there an undiagnosed problem there? Because he went away to Norway, played fantastic, even though it was a rubbish team for him, but he played well in both games. Comes back again, and he gets injured, does his shoulder again.
Yeah.
This is a game, Tone, where he's going to get tackled. Yeah. Tonali, that midfield will go for him, you know, and if he goes again, lands on his shoulder, we got him out for whatever. It's a risk, but I just think we really need a fully fit Ødegaard, and they can't keep on shoehorning him in if he's got an injury. But I just think he's vitally important because obviously we're saying, oh, the football's a bit turgid, a bit boring. I mean, this guy can make us tick when he's fully fit and on its own. And having a player like Eza and Saka up like alongside him, Eza won't necessarily be an out and out winger, Tone, but that's why it's vitally important as well. You can have a player like Calafiori, doesn't so much as invert as he does do a bit of overlapping as well.
Yeah,
and I think that's vitally important to if you're going to play this formation. But yeah, that's what I would do if he's willing to risk him. But I just think Ødegaard is the heartbeat of how we want to play and the reason why we've played good football in the past. And we need to get back to that. But it's just keeping him fit, Time. You know.
Shout out to Boz90 who's put a comment in.
Yeah.
Bruno is the key to their midfield. Can't let him bully us. He normally does, and I agree with that.
Yeah, thanks for your comment, but yeah, he does 100%. We can't handle him, and thanks for your comment. We appreciate that. It's a tough one. It's a tough one to have to compete with that midfield, and that's why I think it's vitally important. You've got Declan Rice protecting Subamendi as well as allowing that boy to play the ball, you know, and get on the ball more often.
I'll show you my starting 11.
Yeah, go for it, matey.
And you're going to disagree with one thing that I've done.
You put Norgard in.
Right. So I put Norgard in, right?
I knew you would.
Because
I was thinking this. Go on.
I don't trust Subamendi against Bruno. I really don't. I think he'll get bullied and Tonali. I think the game will just pass him by. And I don't think this is the type of game he can play in.
Yeah.
And I don't think he will start Norgard. But if he did start Norgard, I'd understand it because he's used to the Premier League, he's used to up against these sort of games. And I must admit, I do think that Zubimendi at times shackles Rice because I don't think Rice has that trust in him to protect the back four. So I think with Norgard, he's proven that he can clean up in that midfield, and I think that he would have a good battle with Bruno. And I think that in my opinion, I think he's got a better chance of winning that battle than Zubimendi.
Can I disappoint you?
Yeah, go on.
I don't think I can argue with it. I still think what I'm saying. I'll admit to you now that I thought it was going to be a bit more controversial than that. I can't argue with your reasoning with Norgard, dude. I still think that Subamendi has been brought in for a certain reason. I was umming and ahhing, but I just think obviously it depends on the role of Rice. Norgard and Rice would mean that you wouldn't have sort of like that ability, the ball playing ability, and you'd have to have Ødegaard dropping. What Subamendi does is he releases the ball from the midfield into, say, an Ødegaard, into that space, into the number 10's role, and into that, into the middle sort of, where you've got Ødegaard there. That's what he does. I can't argue with your reasoning, so I'm going to have to disappoint you that we're not going to have much of an argument. Because if he played that formation, I wouldn't moan. I would just say that that's very much him saying, "Let's protect it." And again, it's you're not going to have so much with Moreno and set pieces, but you've got Eza who can take a good free kick, Saka the same, and it's vitally important we get up there and get these kind of free kicks in, because I think you've got a team. If you've got Rice and Norgard, that means you can have a bit more sitting. Norgard will sit. I don't think he will. He played 90 minutes in the week. He is just coming back, but I can't argue with you. But my reasoning for
I'm shocked.
yeah, but my reasoning for Subamendi is because I believe in terms of the footballing ability, Tone. But the reasoning I got to remit to here as well. That crossed my mind. But why I didn't put him in as my preferred is that obviously he's played 90 minutes. He's just come back. But I think it's one of two things, Tone. Give Norgard 60 minutes alongside Rice. If it's 0-0, we're in charge of the game. We're controlling it. Maybe bring on Subamendi. It can be a tough one. I mean, look, he chose him at Liverpool, chose him at United, and people saying, "Oh, it wasn't fantastic," and I get that. I just think obviously you have to look at what Subamendi does, but the worry, I can't argue with you personally because I've had that worry as well. So yeah, I think what you'd get with that, Tone, is less so much of someone who's got the vision and more someone who can handle the physical battle.
Yeah.
And it's a tough one to go. It's a tough one to go through because I think obviously you either go and play football there or you go and meet them toe to toe. Your formation, you're putting Rice and Norgard there means you're going toe to toe. I understand that as well. My one is to try to go and play football, so that's why I put Subamendi in. But the physical battle could be a tough one. You know what I mean? So
I wouldn't say I've done it because it's toe to toe. The reason why I've picked it is because I know Norgard would stay in front of the back four and he would just clean up, and then it allows that license for Rice to drive forward. I don't know if you've noticed, he hasn't been driving forward as much, right? And a lot of us have been going, "Oh, Rice ain't been playing that great since the start of the season." I don't think it's his fault. I think he's shackled a little bit when Zubimendi sitting there in that role, because I don't think there's been occasions where if you look when teams are hitting us on the attack and counter attacking us or they're breaking on us, he's nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate criticizing the guy because, but I did look. There's no doubt about it. He's a better footballer than Norgard, but Norgard will do a job for us. He's not interested in looking fancy and all that stuff. It will literally get the ball and just play it. It will tidy up, and he won't get bullied. I think Zubimendi will, like Bruno, will look to him and try and bully him.
I agree with that. Tone. Yeah, you know one thing, and sorry to step all over your point.
No, go for it.
Another one that he always plays this 4-2-3-1 formation. A formation that you could go with, but it would then negate having Ødegaard, and we need Ødegaard in my opinion. Was that we used to play, and if you remember rightly, it used to be like Song, Wilshere, Diaby, or you'd have Song, Fabregas when he was still at the club, or you had like a Nasri or something like that. But you had a midfield three that was not 2-1, 6 and 8, and then you didn't have a number 10. We didn't play with a number 10. We played a 4-3-3. In a game like this, you do need your captain, but I would still say you could, to have that extra thing and someone who's ability to have the ball, you could take out Ødegaard altogether and not risk him until you go, right, let's switch formation. But you could have Norgard at the base, Rice and Subamendi a bit further forward, and that could allow to have the comfort of Norgard sweeping behind them and have Rice and Subamendi sort of like, hitting the wings, have it old fashioned. Because we used to play that way. You'd have like a Denilson. Do you remember? You had a Denilson or you had a Song, and he keeps with this formation. Sometimes I think to myself, you've got a way of playing, and he control. And I'm not saying I'm not trying to just totally contradict myself, but if you think on it on a different way, you could put that in as well, especially if you're kind of thinking with the physical aspect for Ødegaard and that dodgy shoulder of his tone. I'm really worried about that. Playing for two at the back, playing two at the midfield, sorry, two at the back. Allowing sort of Ødegaard in that 10 against a team like this. Maybe sometimes you go to St James's Park and say, right, I've got 3 midfielders of varying skill sets. You've got your 2 physical and you've got your ball playing player in Subamendi. Ødegaard needs a free role in certain situations. This is a physical game. could he would not do this, Tone, but I would just say sometimes I guess we struggle so much. Change it up if you have to, but you cannot allow Newcastle to get a goal up. You've got to get that goal first, and you could set up like that to have your two wingers in. I mean, Eze's not so much a winger in that system. So if you're going to play that system, I'd say you may have to take an Eze out, and you might have to go wingers. But it's just there's got to be something different at this place, Tone, in terms of what you do. And that's why I said to you as well. If I'm going to play Zubamendi, I'd want Rice to kind of sit more in the front. Another way to play with Ødegaard in there would be that you have Ødegaard instead of playing as the number 10, or like he likes to put him he puts Ødegaard on the right in midfield, but Ødegaard's more number 10 right side. He drifts into the 10 role. Play Ødegaard on the left, Zubamendi on the right, and Rice at the base. See how that goes. Flat free is what I'm trying to waffle on about. Because given that number 10, you've only got, as you say as well, as you rightly pointed out, Zubamendi struggling to get back. If you've got a midfield, if you've got that number 6 sitting there with two midfielders, and them two allowed it to express while you have because he plays this inverted left back that you don't like, an inverted fullback. He likes to play he likes to do a 3-2.
It's not like I don't like it. I just think it's predictable. Every team we play, our left back's going to step into midfield.
Change it up, Tone. This is the system I'm saying. Like, as you say, you are right in putting I get exactly what you're saying, and I think though that he has to look more so, especially against these guys. It's not so much soaking up pressure with that. You're just having your insurance level there, and you could also look at it. You could push a Calafiori up. You could push a Timber up. A game as well. It was nice to see. As much as it's only Port Vale, he hasn't got he's lost his pace, which someone highlighted. But Ben White is always good on attack. Some days you could always use him as well, Tone. But I think he's not going to do it. But I would say against this, to put Norgard on the same field as Rice and Zubamendi if you have to, or even so put Rice at the base just for this game, in terms of breaking it up and sitting in front of the back four, Tone. They will counter attack. They will soak it up, and they'll counter attack with Gordon or Elanga. That's the danger. You have to shut that. You have to shut them avenues out, Tone, and have that protection as well. So yeah, I'm with you, mate. I can't row with you. I'm so mixed on it. Sorry, go on, mate.
I've got another debate that I want to have with you, and Boz 90 has put it in the chat as well. We know who it is, but we'll speak to him after. Thanks for the comment.
Cheers, thank you, matey.
He's put something that I wrote down. I wanted to discuss. Ødegaard slows the game down in attacking midfield, right? Eze obviously has been doing okay. Now, my question to you is: do you think Eze has done enough to keep his place in attacking midfield? Because you've got a Martin Ødegaard that can come in on the left. Do you think he's done enough? Because do you think he's more useful in that role, in the attacking midfield role, or do you think he can do a job out on the left? So I'm torn with this one, because I can see where that is. Whereas I think Eze's done enough to warrant a start in that position, and Ødegaard starts on the bench. Because Martin Ødegaard's done enough as well to start, and you got that pace. I know it was Port Vale, but I noticed that Eze was a lot more comfortable when he had that free role. He was working his way around the pitch. He got his goal. And I think that he's got a bit of momentum. Again, I know it's only Port Vale, but there's momentum there. Let him play. Throw him back in there. See what he does. I've noticed as well, he doesn't get bullied. So that midfield battle, he'll be there. He'll get involved. Yeah. And he can shoot from outside the box as well. And Ødegaard does not do that anymore. He used to. He doesn't anymore. So, yeah, I think for me, I think we're all expecting Ødegaard to be on that team sheet if he's fit and ready to go, right? And Eze will go out the left. But I do think that he should have a think about that before making that decision, because I think there's an argument to be had that Eze is just as good as Ødegaard in that attacking midfield role. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, personally, thank you for the comment. We will catch up with you. That's a very good question in there, but no, I thank you, matey, for that one. Me and Tony are going to we'll have a chat with you a little bit later on, but yeah, we appreciate that, my friend. Yeah, listen, I love Ødegaard. If you're going to give me that, it's harsh. I think it's harsh on Martinelli though, and I've been overly harsh. I'm going on something that I believe what he's going to do, what Arteta's going to do. I I believe in the long run, and I'll say it to I'm blue in the face that I think if you're going to have an Ødegaard, I think Ødegaard should play left as well. How you fit him in to the system is another question, Tone. But I think he's more so drifting. That number 10 role is destined for, in my opinion. I think Eza is a better. It can be a better number 10, more expressive number 10.
Would you consider them? Because is another option.
Yeah.
Putting Rice in the 6, putting Ødegaard in the 8, and then putting.
Yes.
Again, 100%. Go for that, but I think
he won't go for it. Thank you very much for bringing it up. Because what I'm saying to you, Tone, right, is that I don't Moreno. We can have an argument, and we'll have an argument again with our friend off air and not so much on here. But we all of us agree, right, that with Moreno, I don't think he's not a left 8. We miss Granit Xhaka, yeah. The nearest thing to that football team to a Granit Xhaka is Ødegaard, right? If you look at it as well in terms of the midfield depth, and I will say it as well. We have one year you can cover number 10. Noni's out, yes, but we can have obviously for now. You said to me, Wayne, I think we're light in midfield. We won't be light in midfield if he drops Ødegaard back in that left 8. Rice as number 6, Supermendy and Norgard as well to help, and then you can change that. But I would love to see that. I would love to see, because I think look at the team, and I'm going to reel it out here because we don't need to reel out the back 5. All right, I'm going to reel out the top 6: Declan Rice, Ødegaard left 8, Eza, Martinelli, Saka, Gyökeres. Don't tell me that's not frightening.
Yeah, but Arteta would never go for that.
He's not going to go for it.
He's more worried about not losing.
Yeah.
He's too worried about not conceding, not losing.
I would 100% love to see that, and that's a very good bring up as well, Tone. I would love to see them both in there and have a Martinelli and a Saka as well in terms of your outlets on the wing. As I say, even you could add Noni to that when he comes back. But I've been thinking about that since we signed Supermendy, thinking, we have to get Ødegaard and Eza in the same team, as well as having that width as well. And Ødegaard at the left 8 will add that, but he's not going to do it. But I would 100%, that would be for me he's going for it here. Declan Rice is a machine, Tone. He can play that 6th role. He did it. Do you remember? That's what he was playing. Do you remember? He was playing Ødegaard and Havertz, weren't he? It was Rice, Ødegaard, Havertz, Martinelli, Saka, and I think it was Nketiah or Jesus. He was doing that. When Declan Rice, it wasn't Jesus. I think Jesus was in and out of injury and that. It was Nketiah. But I'm telling you, that is what he was trying to do. And I don't think you should always be sort of like stuck to this 2 midfield pivot, a double pivot. I think you can get away with that. Doing it against this Newcastle team could throw them off as well, Tone. You've got 5. You'll have 4 players at that back that are solid. They're our best 4. Yeah, we don't worry about the keeper because Raya picks himself. That back 4, Tone, is solid to hold Newcastle out. Stick Rice in front of that. That's 5 of them. Do not tell me they're going to be having any trouble at the back. Them 5 players. No. Honest to God, dude, you'd look at that and you'd be excited, and you go, "Well, at least he's gone for it."
Yeah. Why doesn't Arteta start off strong, right? Because we're good enough to attack any team. Maybe Liverpool might be a question mark where we'd want to do that. But why don't they go toe to toe with teams, right? Attack the life out of them. Nick a 2-0 or 1-0, or maybe, and then go back to them tactics where you don't want to, you don't want to lose, so very defensive.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he just? I know he's probably hating hearing this because he's making comments in his press conferences now, little digs.
He's hearing you.
Handbrake.
He's hearing
Take
you.
fucking handbrake off, mate. It's.
Yeah.
I think it's a mixture of a few things. I think he's under a lot of pressure this season to win something, so I think he's overthinking a lot of his tactics. Whereas tomorrow you've got. We understood it, right? When he had Havertz, Saka, Martinelli out injured, we have Marino bloody up front, and then Wanyeri on the right. We was very light going forward, right? So I understood where it was like, Joe, I'm going to set up not to concede, and then we have to try and nick a goal, right? He done that against Leicester. It worked a treat. We won 2-0. Marino scored them 2 goals, right? But we understood why he done that, right? Because we was all in watching them games going, oh, we're fucked, basically, because we've got no attacking players. But you don't have to do that. We've got untold talent going forward. Give the opposition like Newcastle go into that game, they'll be up for it. But also, you want them going. Actually, be careful here, boys. They're full on at us. You know, start on the front foot. Don't move the ball so bloody slowly. And I agree with that comment in the sense that Ødegaard doesn't play that pass in the game at Manchester City. He doesn't play it. Sorry, he doesn't. He doesn't play that pass. Eze will open the game up. So I'm inclined to leave him in that role. I know he won't because he's got a what's the word? Alliance with Ødegaard as his captain. So he's going to be on that. He's probably one of the first people he picks, right? But you brought in Eze not to play on the left, right? Although he can play there, but the main role for Eze was to challenge Ødegaard in that attacking midfielder role, right? That's his natural position. Let him do it. He's come in, and he's done a good job so far, and he's shown us a different side of that role. And you want Ødegaard to come in and go, right, I've got someone breathing down my neck, but because Eze's on the left, we both put him on the left. I think that just goes to show the supporters don't think Arteta's got the balls to drop Ødegaard when it matters.
No, I mean, I one thing I just it's just tweaked in my head tone, and like I think he was trying it sort of like at the Fulham's away and stuff like that, in terms of just like Rice at the base and more sort of like attacking players in like Havertz. I think Havertz adds to his headache, because that guy's also not going to want to be sitting on the bench, and he's you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I just think he's got to be adaptable, Tone, in that sense. He's got to be adaptable to Ødegaard, in a sense, and it can't be that Ødegaard comes in at the expense of Eze. Because, like someone said, his name's, if anyone follows him, his name's EBL on Twitter, and he's a very good. He assesses everything. You know, he doesn't specify what team he follows, but he looks at the tactics and stuff like that. He's praising Arteta's tactical setup, but he said it's vitally important for Arsenal to find a way to get Eze in that team and have him be the main have him express himself in the right way. And this is why I wanted Eze Tone, because I just think to myself, we need that something different. You know, give that guy a platform. You know, Ødegaard is our captain. Find a way to get him in the team, but you have to get Eze in the team and make him be efficient. I've said in previous ones you can get him from the left. I still believe that he can play like a Thomas Rosicky. I don't believe it should be his main thing. He can, Tone. He can displace him as a 10, but I still believe that Ødegaard can play further back as well. But as the kind of ball like you alluded to is 100% right, mate.
I'm inclined to disagree with your comment where you said we've got to find a way to get Ødegaard in that team. I don't agree with that. I don't think he's been playing that well to warrant that mindset of he's undroppable. I don't think he's warranted that.
I don't think it's not these not undroppable, Tone. I just what it is for me is like I said just earlier. I'd love to see them both in tandem with each other as opposed to being one or the other. Because I just think that this football team as well at times needs them two kind of attacking midfielders, if you like, to find a way for them to operate as well. But I get you, mate. If it's going to be a case of that, then if Arteta's going to do that, because obviously Martinelli's form is kind of going, look, you know, if he's scoring goals for you, all right, he's got to start. He can't keep the boy out if he's showing hunger again, and he's starting to find a net. You know,
Yeah.
I do not think you can put Ødegaard in and take Eze out. For me, Eze's got to start, like I've said before, minimum 85% of the games, and that means just the cup games. Do you know what I mean? He shouldn't be starting, he shouldn't always be starting the FA Cup, League Cup, because he's your player who should be playing in the Champions League and the Premier League. But no, I get that, Tony. It shouldn't be. His form has been just below par, Ødegaard's. But I just think what it is if he's not going to reach that level, and you're putting him in, don't put him in at the expense of Eze. Eze's got to get in that team. But if Ødegaard comes in, excuse me, guys, I do apologise. A bit of Pepsi there on the live stream. That's great. I just think he's at that level where it's a case of, again, he's like Martinelli's 22, 23 form Ødegaard. Are you going to have that level again, or is this, have you peaked and we're not getting any more? And that's when Eze comes in, Tone.
That's the argument, isn't it?
That is an argument. I want. This is what I'm trying to get is I want Ødegaard to succeed and I want Ødegaard to carry on, but you can't keep playing him like we did last year. But I think that's the beauty of it, Tone. I'm going to pass it back to you now. But the beauty is, mate, that Eze can come in if he's not going to play, and it push. He needs to trust Wanyeri more as well. And Ødegaard now is vitally important for him.
Agreed. Cool. We've been talking for a good 40 minutes. Waffle Central again.
Wow.
For both of us. But yeah, look, I think that's obviously wrapping up. What's your predicted score?
Yeah. You know what, Tone? I can't be too expressive. So what I'm going to say to you is I'm going to always back my football club. And the patriotic Arsenal fan will tell you 1-0 to the Arsenal. But I reckon it'll be decided by one goal. But I'm going to go 1-0 Arsenal in the hope that if Newcastle score, Tone, I'm going to have major doubts, mate. It's going to be a long afternoon. But I'm hoping that it's 1-0. Yours, matey?
So I'm inclined to agree with that scoreline. I had that in my head as well.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go the same as you because just to make it interesting, I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal.
I like that, Tone. I think one goal. I think it's going to be decided either way.
It's going to be tight. It's going to be a very tight game. In the comments, someone's put 3-0.
Let's hope so. Well, thank you for that. Yeah, we hope so. But
yeah, no,
we'll be in dreamland.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Look, they ain't got Isaac, so they're not as an attacking force.
Yeah, I worry about that midfield, Tone. I think in terms of that, if they get a grip of that, that's as you rightfully said, we're putting Ødegaard in. I worry about that, Tone. I think we've got to get a grip early on.
I think we just need a good ref as well. Who's our ref before we go?
Go and have a look, matey, for me. I ain't got access. I know that one Jared Gillett again.
I think
he's on VAR. He's a Liverpool fan, so be careful, guys. We got a Liverpool fan on VAR.
So he managed the 5-0 against Leeds, and there weren't many problems there. But
who's that one, matey? Sorry,
Gerard Gillett. He's the ref, but he managed the Leeds game.
Oh, he's not on VAR. He's the actual ref.
He's the actual ref tomorrow.
Right, okay, Tone. Thank you, mate. All right, fair enough.
His team's dropped points, so he could be a little bit.
This is what I'm saying. Be careful, guys. He will be giving a lot to Newcastle. It's vitally important he gets that right, Tone. That because they're going to be all over it. That crowd, he's just going to melt. We're not going to get a lot.
Let's hope. Let's hope that.
Don't give him an opportunity, Tone.
Yeah, just going to say that. Let's hope there's not a situation where we do that. That's why I think Zubimendi's inclined to lash out tomorrow because Bruno will wind him up to the point when he's not used to it. He's not used to the Premier League, so
you know what Bruno Ramirez is to add to that. He will wind him up something chronic, and he will be diving on the floor. He will be giving, cheers, boss. We're running out of time, matey. I don't know, boy. Lovely. Cheers, mate.
Yeah.
But he's going to be an absolute fucker tomorrow, is Bruno. And I worry about that. You're right, Tone. So let's see what he does. Let's see what time before we go, matey. Before I miss it, what time's kickoff? Is it 4:30? Is it
4:30? Yeah, it's 4. Yeah,
that's
Super
right.
Sunday.
Super Sunday 4:30.
Game.
Fingers crossed, my
4.
friend. Yeah, got to get that midfield battle right, Tone.
Yes. Looking forward to it. Look, we'll be on tomorrow. Reaction video. Hopefully, it's good news and not me ranting. But yeah, it's a must win tomorrow. A win and nothing else. Anyway, that's it from us. Have a lovely evening. Thank you for tuning in advance, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good evening.
Cheers, guys. Have a good evening.